you and makes you sick and lonely, let's just clap right now. Woo! Glory! 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 Everybody stand up. Glory! He is worthy to be praised. Glory! Thank you, Jesus. Woo! Didn't that feel good? You just sent a violent earthquake through his realm. And I can tell you right now, he ain't very happy about it because it takes demons to repair that stuff, and he can't spare any. So he's going to sit around with it patched up, or he's going to have to pull some of his hordes from down here and go up there and do repairs for him. There are things you can do in your life every day of your life. I've had people say, I wish I could hit a demon. There are ways you can do that. There are ways you can do that. When you're going through your worst times, you start praising God. You literally can bring confusion in the mind of the enemy. You can cause severe pain and headaches in the mind of the enemy because you got them totally baffled. They don't understand why when you're down to nothing and your body's hurting, you're praising your God. And if you want to get delivered real fast, if you want intervention to come right away, you start praising him because it says he inhabits the praises of his people just like he did tonight. His presence poured in here. It'll pour in your home. And it'll cause a reaction in all the atmosphere around you, and you will literally draw heaven into your midst. That's why Satan hates praise. He thinks it's his, but it doesn't belong to him, and he isn't a king. I don't even like to say his kingdom. I'll say his realm and his domain. I won't even give him honor enough to say he has a kingdom. He is the ruler of darkness, and he hates every living being. He doesn't just hate people. He even hates the animals. He hates everything. He hates everything that God ever created because he knows it came from the hand of God. He can create nothing. The only thing he ever created was evil. Everything else he does, he carbon copies and copycats what God does. Only he does it in darkness. So he can't create anything. And people wonder why sometimes Satanists don't want to get saved, even though you can prove all you want to that Jesus is the Son of God. You can even show them miracles, and that's not going to move them because, see, they have power from him. A true Satanist really does have power from Satan, and they can do things. Not against the body of Christ, but they can do things to people, and they can make things happen, and they actually can shift change into animals. And I know in our country here, that might be hard to believe. In third world countries, that happens all the time because it has such a hold on them in places of darkness. They can turn into different animals. And they like that power. And they usually have to kill a family member to get that power. Isn't that horrible to think that somebody would do that? And the more they kill, the more power they get. And they like that power. And the whole time, demons really go in and talk to them and they see them. Just like God uses his people and talks with them and shows the angels to them. So there's almost no way possible without a divine intervention of God that they ever get saved. Unless Jesus himself appears to them, they usually will never get saved. Because only because of his glory and the power around him and that presence of his love can he break through the hardness of their hearts. Because, see, Satan has promised them things. He'll lie to them. When you die, you're going to get to rule with me in my kingdom. I'm going to give you even greater power. And when I take over the earth, I'm going to give you whole countries. And all those people are going to be subservient to you. And I'm going to give you all the riches and the wealth, and you'll have it for eternity. And see, because they already believed a lie and worship him, they're going to believe anything he says. Because right now he does have some power. So that's why it's so hard to get them to accept Christ. Because he does lie. Not just to the angels, he lies to all these people that he uses. And so they're totally, fully convinced that when they die and he comes for them, they're not going to be tortured. One of his greatest pleasures is to drag them into hell and torture them like anyone else. And the whole time they're screaming, but you promised me, you promised me. They don't care who that is. It's just another human being that they can torture. Now then they laugh at them because they believe the lie. So they actually go through double torture. They realize how stupid they were that they believed him. If they had understood that his evil consumed them and consumes things and destroys things, they would have never believed him. So there are reasons why certain people will never accept Christ, because they believed a whole lie and they live on it. And there are people, because they belong to Satan, that hate you too. But they can't put curses on you. That blood prevents them. The only reason they can never get through to you is if you're doing something wrong. You need to make sure you keep a pure hands and a clean heart. You need to make sure you keep that, because let me tell you, they know when you've fallen. They keep records. Satan records and keeps records, so does hell. And they know if they got you to slip just a little bit, they will not leave you alone. They will hunt you down until they get you to fall. And then they'll brag about it, then they'll beat you up and tell you you're no good now. There's no point in even trying to go back. That's what people experience when they go into sin. And they don't feel like they're good enough for God anymore. And you know that the Christians are the only group of people that will wound those who have been fallen. Most other groups will try to lift up their people and help them, but we don't do that. We judge them, we criticize them, we heap more and more stuff onto them until they really feel worthless. And Christ isn't like that. We are supposed to restore those in love, knowing that could have been us. If you know someone who's fallen, please encourage them and let them know it's not too late, that he still loves you, he still wants to use you. You can still finish your destiny. I can hardly wait for July to get here, because the first part of July, for the first time, I'll be speaking in a men's prison. They'll never be the same. Because they're going to hear hope. They're going to hear, even though they're there, guess what? They can become a weapon against the very one who put them there. And I'm going to tell them how to do it. They're going to know the glory of God can still be in their life. And even though they may be there until the day they die, at the very second they die, they enter into a glorious realm. And their entire situation and eternal position will change. Because if you give yourself to God, even in prison, and start to serve him and love people for him, especially in that situation, you will get great reward in heaven. And you will get a tremendous position in eternity. So even though it might seem hopeless for them now here in this earth, in this time of their life, it isn't over. As long as there's breath in their body, they can become a weapon in the hand of their God. They can be a warrior in the end-time army if they never leave that place. And I'm going to really make sure they know how much he loves them. And I'm praying that they will feel the love coming from me. My husband's going to get to go with me, and I'm very blessed. He's going to stand there and guard me from the enemy. He is a tremendous protector for me. My husband knows his role. The role of every husband is to be a guard and a protector, that we are the fragile vessel. And they're supposed to treat us like that we're delicate, that we're precious, that we're treasure. They're supposed to love their wives, and I can truly say my husband loves me. And he's certainly not the most perfect person in the world. I could tell you all kind of funny stories about him, but then he'd find out and I'd be in trouble, because my daughter's sitting right there on the front row. And we really love each other, and we've been married 32 years, and I am madly, totally in love with my man.